JFK 020 is being in front of following customers, so please make use of the number stop ticket A16. Thus, Lakeland Bennett, Martin Bichler, Mimi Coy, Yvonne Cohen,
ABC here?
G.
Yeah.
Yep.
In an overhead compartment or secure to the seat in front of you. If your seat
Flight mode. Please study the safety instruction card placed in the seat pocket in front of you. This Boeing 767 aircraft has 8 emergency exits behind you. Emergency lighting, including low-level lighting, indicates the way to the exits.
passport control at this time. For all other connected flights, please proceed to passport control. And today the aircraft is not parked at the terminal building. This will be through the front door. Keep in mind the weather on Iceland is unpredictable, so wear something warm when you leave the aircraft. And please be careful when going down the stairs.